Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and today I'd like to discuss exactly why I invested in Axie Infinity the end of last month, why I believe the game has a lot more growth to come, and what the strategies are for making money in this play to earn game at a high level, and what the ROI looks like after only 2 weeks of diving in and investing. Before we begin, no. I did not sell any of my OMI or my Cardano or my VeChain or any of my other strong conviction crypto plays. It's been a while since I've covered something besides Akomi and Vivi because they've kept me so busy with updates, but I've taken the time to really research this one, invest in it, and I believe Axie will help me continue to fund my other projects and investments as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. All right, so let's start off by taking a look at the numbers on how impressive this project is, why I invested in it, and why I believe it's not going to be slowing down anytime soon. So I actually found out about Axie Infinity back in, I think, March or April, and it was on KG Jan's channel, who I know is an outspoken community member in the space and a great YouTuber on Play to Earn Crypto. And I was researching ways to earn free crypto for a video back then, and I shied away because I had to spend ETH to buy Axies, and I thought, man, that's just so expensive. What a bad call. Because since then, the AXS token has skyrocketed in really only 2 months, which is associated with breeding Axies, and it's up about 1,000%. And the SLP token, which is the Smooth Love Potion, which is earned in Axie and is also used in breeding, was up about 800% on these 2 different spikes, but is now down, but still up 300%. So these 2 associated tokens with Axie Infinity are skyrocketing, and for good reason. And you can invest in these tokens just like any other crypto, like solely separate from the game. But if that was the case, I wouldn't be investing in, personally, AXS or Smooth Love Potion just because it's up so high. But I am investing in the Axies, and I'll get into a bit how on the different strategies in a minute. Many will think or say, oh, well, Axie is probably already moon, right? But people are still making a killing. They recently updated the meta on tokens to keep it balanced, where they actually cut some of the SLP that you can earn in adventure mode, as well as how much AXS is needed for breeding. So they keep it balanced as it grows. And there is so much more room to grow. Let's take a look at their user base growth, which funny enough actually reminds me of my favorite NFT project, Vivi's explosive user growth. But as we can see, from May to just July, the daily active players shot up from roughly about 60,000 to about 350,000 daily active users. And that was July. I don't know where we're at in August, but it's probably continuing to go up, especially with how much attention Axie Infinity is getting. And as you can see, the Discord members keep growing. So they are over 200,000 strong. Monthly revenue for July surpassed 23 million. But where does the growth come from? Interesting, Axie Infinity has become a primary way to earn income for people in developing countries such as the Philippines, Vietnam, and many others. Currently, users playing Axie Infinity can earn around $10 to $20, recently closer to $30 to $50 a day in digital assets through playing the game. Users earn the money through the following methods: selling Smooth Love Potions and or selling Axies. So people are earning a living with this, not just by breeding Axies, but also by earning SLP in the game, especially in developing countries like Philippines and Vietnam. So it's empowering some of the unbanked in developing countries. As we can see from this tweet, I think this is absolutely amazing. Here in San Carlos, the radio is always talking about Axie and the price of SLP. SLP is accepted in, I think, about 30% of my shops in the city. We just pay instantly with the Ronin transfers to the vendor's wallet on our phones, which Ronin is the in-app wallet. It basically makes all of the fees in the app of transacting on Axies much, much cheaper than having to pay a gas fee all the time using MetaMask. But again, this is incredible, and this is why it's going to keep growing, because of what it's doing for these countries. Axie was actually just mentioned yesterday on Bloomberg TV as a global gaming blockchain phenomenon that'll create the next paradigm shift. And this was an incredible little segment. There was a lot of gems dropped here, but again, a lot more exposure is coming directly to Axie in the US news as well. When it comes to battling Axies, there are tons of little events and things that you can do, and they come in season. So the next Q3, Q4 event is coming where there will be 31 individual tournaments boasting 5,560 AXS in prizes through December, which is roughly around $350,000 at today's current price of AXS. Okay, but is this it? Is this all we can do, is just play the game and battle Axies and breed? Well, they also already have land, which is selling for already really high amount. They have items, and there isn't a full picture of what the land will come into play yet, but people have already staken their claim and are making a killing. And that's really highlighted in this recent interview that just came out on Benzinga, where the co-founder of Axie says, I would say we are only 15 to 20% finished with Axie. So this thing has a long way to go and many, many more catalysts for its hungry and growing user base. And the last piece of why I think it'll keep growing is because what happens in crypto space, whether it's NFTs or whatever the crypto is, community. The community is very strong. We look at Axie Infinity, it has over almost 400,000 followers on Twitter and over 200,000 Discord members, and tons of community engagement where people are actually getting tattoos and creating art and creating music. It reminds me again, similar to Akomi and Vivi, and there is a whole community around this that is extremely strong and very attractive. All right, now let's talk Turkey. How much money can be made, or what the ROI looks like. And I'm gonna do this very high level because an in-depth version of this would need to be 3 separate videos, but there's really 3 strategies. The first is the cheapest but least lucrative up front, so it takes a little bit longer to grind, and that's going through battle and adventure mode. The second is more expensive, and that's breeding your Axies, solely just creating a breeding farm, but it's more lucrative quicker. The third option is both battling and breeding, which is the largest investment up front, but again, the fastest in order to get ROI for sure. And that is the one I chose. So disclaimer, this is not a quick figure it out as you go project. Like, you can't just hop in and then buy a bunch of Axies and then expect to make money. There is a ton of research needed to go into this in order to set up a Ronin wallet, to set up your MetaMask with the Ronin wallet, to know how to swap everything in between the Axie marketplace and the wallets, to know which battle or PvP Axies to choose, and know which breeding Axies to choose if you choose to go that route. You also need to know how much AXS and SLP are needed for breeding. I will be doing more Axie videos with tutorials in the future, but if you want to start this as soon as possible, I recommend you check out Attack on Axie's channel. I learned a ton from him, as well as Axies on the Moon, which I learned a lot of the battle side from him as well. If you choose the battling adventure strategy, basically you want to choose a team of 3 Axies, which this guide will actually give a good idea of some solid competitive teams. As you can see right down here, there's a whole lot in this guide, so I will link this in the details down below, as well as this guide, which tells you about how to really maximize your SLP earning from battling and adventure mode. The cost of the adventure and battling mode, basically the first option, would be somewhere around the realm of 0.4 to 0.6 ETH. That's the cheapest option. Again, it's going to take a while to grind. So in the beginning, you'll have 20 energy. I have 40 because I have over 10 Axies, but in the beginning, you'll start with 20 energy, and you'll want to start by using majority of your energy in adventure mode until you really build up to roughly about level 17 or so, because you'll want to get your 50 SLP a day, as well as your ability to complete your daily quests. So you check in, you complete 10 adventure mode levels, and you win 5 arena matches, and then you get 25. So you're pretty much guaranteed to get 75 SLP a day through this method. And whatever excess you have, you can use in arena mode, which you can then build up your MMR and earn more SLP through that way. But once you've hit level 17 plus, you're earning anywhere from about 6 to 15 SLP per adventure. So what happens is, it may only take about 4 or 6 adventures for you to actually get that 50 SLP. And by that time, you now have, 16 or 14 energy points. And so you can just use the rest of that in Arena and you'll earn usually more than 25 SLP than you would from doing the quest check-in if you have at least an average win rate. So there's a lot to this. So I recommend you watch a lot of YouTube, do your research before jumping in. But these two guides, which I'll have in the details below, give a ton of info, but chop the amount of SLP you can earn in adventure mode and quest in half because they did come out with that update on the meta to where you can earn slightly less, but again, they offset it by chopping what it is cost for breeding Axies on the AXS, which is good news if you choose the second option to breed Axies or both the third option, because it does make it more cost effective as the price goes up to breed Axies now. So there's another breeding guide, which again, it'll be in the details. It's pretty in-depth and it shows how you need SLP as you go up. And these are per Axies. So make sure you're doubling these because it takes 2 Axies to breed. And when it comes to breeding, there's 2 different methods. There's the ABC method, which as you can see, there's 2 parents that breed and then a third Axie that breeds with that one. And so it creates an infinite loop, but it is a slower process, but cheaper because you're only starting with 3 breeding Axies. The more slightly costly, but definitely quicker and more beneficial way of breeding faster is the ABCD method, where you have 4 Axies. And this guy bred each 4 times. I personally only breed 3 times because I've seen that you can usually sell a 3 breed for roughly the same price as a 4 breed, but it's more expensive to breed a 4th time. So unless it's like a 99%, you probably don't want to breed it a 4th time. When breeding Axies, make sure you change the names of them to like parent 1A through C and parent 2A through C, because you don't want to mix up what your breeding Axies are, especially with the ABC method. You really want to stay on top of this. And so for this option, breeding Axies, pending on the method, including AXS and SLP needed for the breed, initially is anywhere around 1.5 to 2.5 ETH, depending on what purity you're looking for. And when it comes to dominant traits and recessive traits and purity, that's another video for another day because breeding is very, very in-depth. But once you've bred your Axies, let's say 3 times, it takes 5 days and then the eggs will hatch and now you have 6 Axies. Now for the third method, which is the most expensive to do, but this is the one I chose to do, and it is also the quickest to get a ROI. So I bought 4 breeding plant Axies for the ABCD method, and then I bred them, and then I bought about probably 4 days later or 3 days later, an additional 2 Axies to battle with one of the plant parents. I was very particular about the purities, so all in, I think I spent about 2.7 ETH, a lot to start, but after battling for roughly about 14-15 days and breeding 3 times, I've officially made back my money and am now all in profit from this point out, including have some Axies that are selling right now that will put me in profit after 15 days. I haven't even started scholaring yet, which will come one day, but there is no shortage of ways to make money with this play to earn crypto game. So there are risks just like any other crypto, right? But Axie built it up in a correct manner. It's continuing to grow, it's empowering struggling countries, and it's a great way to make perpetual income to invest in many other projects, which is my strategy. So the reason I wanted to wait before doing a video is because I wanted to make sure it was legit. I wanted to prove that this investment would really pay off. And I'm happy to say, my friends, it's a lucrative project. As always, I hope you found my content valuable, and if so, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. The likes and comments help appease the algo overlords and help my channel to continue to grow. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, and happy trading.